Ladies and gentlemen, get your pencil and paper ready because today I'm going to be teaching you how to shockwave like a pro. One thing about Epic Games is they love adding and removing items. But one item that rarely gets removed from zero builds is the shockwaves. So it's important to maximize its potential. In this video, I'm going to start off pretty simple and slowly get into the more advanced strategies that take a little bit of practice. First up, let's cover the basics. Shockwaves are most commonly used to get into and out of fights or take the high ground.
I have the high ground.
But positioning yourself as you throw the shockwaves is most important. If I want to go forward, I throw the shockwave behind me. If I want to go back, I throw the shockwave forward. If I throw it to the right, I'll go left. And if I throw it to the left, I'll go to the right. It sounds pretty simple, but timing your jump is everything. For example, if you jump too late, then you probably won't get where you want to go. What I personally like to do, and what a lot of players still don't do, is actually adding a tack sprint to their shockwave. All you have to do is throw down the shockwave, activate your tack sprint, and then jump. I'll show you guys what it looks like in normal speed. If you do it correctly, you should get this running animation while you're in the air. If your character looks like this and they're not moving, then you probably did it incorrect. Doing a tack sprint while you're jumping actually adds up to 10 meters to your jump, which doesn't sound like a lot. Sometimes even a distance like this can make the difference in a fight. Now that we understand how to use the shockwaves, let's talk about shockwave placement. If you didn't know, shockwaves will only work if it's within 5 meters. So as you can see with my ping here, I'm gonna throw it 6 meters out. It should have no effect. I'm going to ping 5 meters and there you go. So it's important no matter where you're throwing the shockwave, whether it's here, behind you, as long as it's within 5 meters, you're good. So using this high quality graphic, imagine there's a circle below you with a radius of 5 meters. If I'm wanting to go forward to max distance, then I'd place the shockwave close behind me. But the further back you throw the shockwave, the less distance you're going to travel. Keep this in mind because sometimes based off your enemy's position, it's something you may want to do. Which brings me to my next topic, controlling your distance. Controlling your distance with shockwaves is important because there's so many fights where you may not want to actually get the full effect. If there was a player at this tree and I was trying to engage in a close range fight, then I can't really use a normal shockwave because I would go way over the tree. Instead, what you can do is an intentional late jump. Did he just shoot at me? Oh, he's got, oh, he means business. I didn't know he had a gun. An intentional late jump is exactly what it sounds like. Basically, you throw the shockwave down and you jump at the very last second to make sure you don't get that much air. For example, if he's peeking behind this tree and I hit a few shots and I wanted to push him just to finish him off.
What did he say?
Okay, y'all are so immature for that, dude. Like, grow up, okay? Grow up. I would throw the shockwave down, hit a late jump, and the goal is to be within shotgun range to finish the fight. A lot of players don't expect this. When they hear the shockwave go off, they anticipate you going up. A lot of players will instantly look up as soon as they hear the shockwaves. They definitely won't expect you to be right there behind them. Now it's time to get into the advanced tips. I put this castle here with a few different enemies at different levels to show you guys the difference. A normal shockwave will get me up to this player, but not this player, and I'll show you right now. This is without sprint jumping. We landed on this player, so we can't eliminate him. My goal here is actually to get to this player. So in order for me to do that, I'm going to have to mix in a tack sprint jump because it's going to give me those extra 10 meters. And there you go. Another advanced tip that I don't see a lot of players utilize is using your shockwaves aggressively. So let's pretend that I didn't eliminate that bot earlier and he's still standing there. Just picture a little bot right there. There's a lot of situations where you may have to push towards the enemy because zone's pushing you in and they're trying to hold you out. So what you could do, instead of shockwaving yourself forward, you can throw the shockwave right at the tree, either to the left or right of them to push them in the opposite direction. So if I throw the shockwave right here on the left, that player is going to bounce to the right and it's going to give me advantage on the fight to either take shots or then start rotating. 9 times out of 10, this catches your opponent completely off guard. They're not expecting you to shockwave them and it gives you an opening in the fight. Moving on to some of our final advanced tips, and these are tips that I actually use on a pretty regular basis, especially in fights because players just don't expect it. In a situation where you're in a room and you know a player is holding an angle on you like this bot is right now, instead of trading shots with them like this, all you have to do is pull out your shockwaves, throw the shockwave against the wall as long as it's within 5 meters and you should end up right next to them. So we're going to throw it up against the wall here and we should end up right next to that player. Hopefully we can land a shotgun shot. Let's try it. So it ended up breaking the entire building, but actually that's pretty normal considering it's a shockwave and it's kind of what it does. Another trick I like to do is I get my shotgun ready, make sure it's reloaded, and then I throw the shockwave on the ceiling and it's going to do the opposite effect. It's going to send me down right beneath them, and a lot of times players just don't expect it. Here's what it looks like in real time. Making plays like this will maximize the Shockwave's potential. I wanted to make this video because I felt like a lot of players just use it for getting around the map, rotating, or just taking high ground. But there's so many different uses for Shockwaves, and we're going to actually get into some gameplay now. I'm going to show you how I use this in current game. I was lucky enough to actually find a few Shockwaves off the spawn here, so I'm going to try to get into a situation where I can actually do some of the things that we talked about. The fizz juice and the flow berries will give you the low gravity effect. I think most people know this by now, but when combined with a Shockwave, all you gotta do is eat one and then it should send you flying, and these really send you. So combine it with the sprint jump and you're gonna be flying across the map. Now for this player right here, I'm gonna see if I can't bait him a little bit closer to show you guys some of the things we were talking about. Actually, even this rock would work. So if he's right there, I can actually Shockwave through this rock and I should land close to him if I throw it behind me. Oh, he had a gold shotgun too? Okay. Thank you, Mr. Bot. Looks like he's hopping in the, okay, we might have to just take this guy out. Got him. So this player is currently in that room. Oh, they're coming out. What I'm going to do is Shockwave through. As you can see, I got a few free hits because of it. Now I can re-challenge and take the fight, and he's running. So a little bit of the reverse Uno card there. He was playing aggressive at first, but because I caught him off guard with the Shockwaves, now he's running. And he's in some trouble here. He's panicking a little bit, throwing clingers. He doesn't really know what to do. See if I get this reloaded. Should be a free kill. There we go. All the tricks I talked about are things that I use on a daily basis. So if you're trying to up your game a little bit, definitely consider getting used to it. You're not going to do it on your first attempt. I definitely didn't. I don't think anyone does. You know, it's like with anything, you just got to practice. Use the Shockwaves in a different way. You can go to creative modes and just give yourself some Shockwaves to get used to them. Kind of how I was showing y'all earlier. I just made a creative map, threw in some Shockwaves, and you just set the item limit to unlimited. You can Shockwave as much as you want. Practice with them as much as you want. I know he's below me somewhere. I just want to know exactly where before I waste my Shockwave. Oh, he's below me. I think he's right there, so we're gonna do it again. Ready? And that's it, man. That's really it. That's all it is. You just throw it right above him, like you see right there. Caught him completely off guard, and now we're coming out on top here. If you guys enjoyed this video, make sure to hit the sub button and let me know down in the comments down below. It was definitely something new for me, different style video, so I hope you guys enjoyed it. Have a good rest of your day.